Hey everyone, before we kick off the actual video that you're about to see, I wanted to do this kind of like quick update intro for the video because, well, I did film this series at this point almost 2 years ago, and it was only living over on TikTok. But a lot of my viewers kept asking me, hey, can you bring it over to YouTube in its entirety? Because at this point, again, almost 2 years later, TikTok, keeps removing episodes. At the time on TikTok, you can only upload 3-minute long videos, unlike now where you can do 10 minutes. Long story short, it'll be here now on YouTube in its entirety. I've also went ahead and updated and made some changes where I feel it was justifiable. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately for Auntkaren, most of it still holds a lot of weight because, well, it is supported. All of the stuff that I talk about in this video you're about to watch is still supported very much by her content that is up right now as of December 28, 2022. So yeah, it'll be here now. Hope you guys enjoy it. It'll be also in the playlist with the other creator series that I have, series for like Tizzy, Danesh, and well, anyone else I end up doing series on, which by the way, let me know down below who you would be interested in me doing a deep dive on. So yeah, without further ado, hope you guys enjoy.
I've seen your opinion on Modern Warrior.
Yeah, okay.
So what's your opinion on Auntkaren?
Well, this is gonna hurt like a mother.
Get yourself some popcorn. This is going to be a long one. So this is one of the questions that I've been getting a lot. Now, of course, some of you guys understand that as a social media commentator, my way of creating content is to absorb what's happening out there and then digest it back to you guys in a way that I think is entertaining. Of course, there's always those sheep that are always sheeping that, like to come on my comments and say, oh, you're just trying to get clout. Usually they're not the smartest. They don't understand how social media works and how content creators, create content. But for the rest of you guys, here is some stuff that I discovered after doing extensive research into Auntkaren. Now, for those of you guys that don't know who Auntkaren is, she's actually Denise Bradley, a Michigan woman who rose to prominence due to a video that went viral back in 2020. Now, to her credit, she's not just any creator. Just on TikTok alone, she has over 1.5 million followers. And it should be said that many online news outlets have written articles about her. Now, you might be asking, well, what is this video? 6 million views? I mean, was it a trend? Like, what was it? No. It's actually something that has become pretty regularly with her content, which is to harass kids.
Because you are a little kid who obviously needs some education.
All right, perfect. Now that everybody's on the same page, we all know who Auntkaren is. Let's move on. There's a lot happening with Auntkaren. Now, let me preface this video by saying very clearly that I do not condone any acts of violence, aggression towards Auntkaren. All I really ask is that you keep an open mind and make a decision for yourself whether to follow her or not follow her. Let's get started. So this video has two major highlights. One is the cognitive dissonance that she clearly demonstrates, and two is the actual bipolar disorder she has been diagnosed with. And I believe, and I will show you with receipts on this video, that I believe the main reason for her behavior, for the way she acts, is actually probably rooted in something more serious. So stay tuned, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share that with you. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what cognitive dissonance means, it's a state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially around relating to behavioral decisions and attitude change. Some of you guys might say, well, isn't that bipolar? Isn't that what she says she has? Sort of, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. But you are on the right track. Now, I've said this to many people in the comment section. I believe in making a critique based off facts and logic mainly. I'm not perfect, and sometimes I will put my quote feelings into my videos, but 90% of the time I really try to stick to, again, facts and logic, and that's what this video will show. Regardless of what the sheep might want to come in and say on my comment section, I really do my best to leave my feelings out of my critique. Now, the easiest one that anybody can see is something that I pointed out before on previous TikToks, and that is that often Denise, or Auntkaren, sees herself as the arbiter of justice. And what that basically means is that Denise tries to go around TikTok, go around the internet, period, feeling like she has some kind of power to judge others and flex her muscle, which are essentially her followers, by sending them to attack people on the internet solely based on her perception of facts. Now, I truly believe that this is not something that just came along, with her rise to fame. This has a lot to do from something she suffers from. It is a delusion of grandeur.
Men like you only serve me one purpose, and that is to worship me. And I'm a warrior. And just like my kitty here, I pounce on losers like you. You don't mean shit to me.
Do you think that you are toxic? No. Why not? I potentially could be, yeah.
Not only does she feel that she's above people, she specifically feels that she's above white people.
Watching all these white people on their high horses.
Now, she on one hand will say, don't generalize, but then on the other hand will generalize.
Does not give him the right to discriminate against black people because one person did something. And even if it was 100 people, you don't get to discriminate because someone did something else.
What? Wait, what? So because of one person, right?
One person did something. One person did something.
Because of one person, we shouldn't discriminate against an entire group, right? But I thought you said...
Watching all these white people on their high horses.
All these white people.
Again, it goes along with the cognitive dissonance. Now, all the clips I'm going to show you, you can find on her page unless she decides to take them down. I mean, this is not something that I had to hack anything to go find. This is something that she prominently displays. She's very proud of everything that I'm about to show you. Now, let's play a few clips on where she plays judge, jury, and executioner.
And if you're not going to be a part of the solution, then you are a part of the problem. And if you don't want to be my next racist of the day, then I suggest you learn a thing or two about racism and what you can do to stop it.
Some of you guys might say, oh, you're only playing clips and moving them around to suit your narrative. You can go watch any of these clips in their entirety on her page. Trust me, she's very happy to display her blunt racism. Now, of course, she'll say something like,
and I'm going to be honest, one of the things about me is holding people accountable.
But of course, this doesn't apply to her. She holds other people accountable. It's rules for thee, but not for me. She has what I call best hits, which include stuff like this.
And I can tell that you're itching for some attention, and maybe you haven't been in a while, but hey, honey, what you standing there with a plate if you weren't ready to eat? I know you thought you ate. I know you thought you ate. I know you thought you was... You spoke out of turn. I educated you.
She sees herself as educating people, putting people in their place. This, of course, just supports what I've been saying about the delusion of grandeur. Now, sometime back, you might have seen a video from her creator that said,
Now that that's out of the way, who told white people they could wear grills?
Naturally, people had a reaction to it. It appears that a young Latina responded to that video from that creator and said,
Who told black people they could wear wigs? I don't remember that being a part of the culture. Because apparently when white people, Spanish people, any type of person wears braids, it's a bad thing. But y'all could wear wigs. Y'all could...
Like many responses on TikTok, it was a very dumb response. I will give Auntkaren that. Fighting fire with fire or racism with more racism would just put you in a circulatory argument. You know, essentially you say this, I say that, you say this, I say that, and it would go around and around and around. We're really not going to get anywhere. But of course, in comes Auntkaren, essentially bashing the young Latina, putting her in her place, and then later on, forcing her, right? Beating her into submission. Something that I said before people like Lance do. And Tizzy. This young girl later on made an apology video, and then again Auntkaren stitched that video and essentially said, I forgive you.
And I will get a lot of hate for, and yeah.
So your apology, Daisy, I, first of all, 100% accept your apology.
Once again showing her delusion of grandeur. Now, by the way, side note, in case Auntkaren does watch this video, there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to say out of your own mouth that will serve as a reminder of your own logic that you claim you live by. In other words, put your money where your mouth is. But let's continue.
If you can't stand with us, just don't stand at all.
If you cannot stand with us, then you cannot stand at all. Essentially, if you don't think like me, then you're not allowed to talk. Then you're not allowed to have an opinion. And for those of you guys saying, oh, you're just putting words in her mouth. Okay, here you go.
And if you're not going to be a part of the solution, then you are a part of the problem. And if you don't want to be my next racist of the day, then I suggest...
Yeah, even with the threat and everything, you know, if you don't do this, then I'm going to do this, regardless if you're racist or not. Because again, if you don't stand with us, then you're against us. And because you're against us, I'm going to label you a racist. Now, before we get started, Denise, you did say this, right?
Racism will not be tolerated in 2021.
I'm assuming that's also going to roll over into 2022. But I forget that this probably doesn't apply to you. Because of course, you saying things like,
especially with the black one, that is my favorite because it's nothing like a white guy with a black toy.
real quick, Auntkaren, what was that again?
Here's the thing. Racism needs to stop.
Yeah, I mean, when you keep moving the goalposts, of course, you know, whatever you're doing, it's not racist. Of course, when you see yourself as the author of everyone's dictionary, there's no way anything negative can apply to you. Just to paraphrase Denise a little bit, she's saying that she really likes to penetrate white men with her black toy. That's totally not racially charged. Now, of course, some of the sheep in here will say, well, she actually admitted to that, so it's a joke. Haha, you fell for it. Hey, listen, whatever makes you feel better. You keep sheeping. But let's move on to more examples, shall we? Now, way back, dare I say, when Denise was more humble, she did say something that, quite frankly, I actually can stand by. and get behind.
Furthermore, I would ask you to look inside yourself before you try to take down black women who are different from you. Because you are no expert, your experiences are unique to yourself, and trying to talk about a black woman as if she is trash because she may see the world different from you does not make you any better than anyone else.
But it seems she forgot that somewhere along the way.
Girl, if you don't take them blue contacts out and stop playing with me, you almost ended up as racist of the day. Now you need to stop playing and go sit down somewhere.
Because she did say,
before you try to take down black women who are different from you.
Some of you guys will say, well, you know, she only says racist things to white people. So don't know how that would be better, but you wouldn't be mistaken. She has said very racist things to people of color. The same people that she claims to stand for.
You owe me an apology for your remarks. They were extremely racist and hate driven. You didn't.
Cool story, bro, but isn't this cool? Like, I freaking love this poster. Isn't it cute? It reminded me of you.
People that will flat out tell her, hey, that was pretty racist. And again, not only will she leave the video up on her channel, she will actually say on those same videos, yeah, I did. And?
What did she do that was hateful? She called me a coon. Don't call me love. I don't like.
Yeah, I did call you that, and I still stand behind that. So... But hey, look at this. Even though I don't like James Gunn, it's like me and then you sitting on my shoulders.
Now, for those of you guys that you don't know what she means when she shows Rocket, the Disney fictional character, essentially she's talking about a COON, which is a racial slur, a very derogatory racial slur. But again, cognitive dissonance, because all these ideas are bunched up in her head. She doesn't see how she can be racist. She is unable to fathom why anybody would think that she is being racist. But it does get worse.
Imagine if a white person got on here and said, who allowed these black people to do such and such, such and such? You have Auntie Karen and
Hello, Rocket. You summoned me, and so I'm here to present you with some facts. First and foremost, if you're going to call upon me, tag me in the video. And second, you are a rocket. You are the definition of a rocket.
And for those of you who are confused about Rocket, isn't he cute? Yeah, we have a lot of these.
Aw, she's just being cute. It's, you know, just banter and we're playing around. Now, yes, I will ask, by the way, those of you guys wondering, well, what's the big deal with that? She's also a person of color. As I've said before, that doesn't absolve her from being bigoted or racist. But adjudicator Auntkaren wasn't done. No. She went beyond what she usually does and actually told this black man what he needed to do to be allowed back in, to be accepted again.
Need to sit back and relax, and you are considered a rocket because you are just sitting there pretending as if these things don't happen. As a black man, I gotta tell you, I'm very disappointed in you. But, you know, if you've been whitewashed, then I'm not surprised. But when you're ready to come back on the side of where things are a reality, you just let Auntie know, and I'll give you an education.
You just let me know, because of course I know better than, you know, all black people. For certainly, I know better than this black person. A black man that wasn't being disrespectful, a black man that was sharing his opinion. As she, by the way, side note, has told mothers that they should let their teenagers do.
Hey, you gotta stop telling your teenager or your child in general that you wish they were much more like their sibling, their sister, their brother, whoever. Just embrace individuality. It's much more appreciated.
More of that cognitive dissonance. Another side note, it always, you know, boggles my mind when people say, oh, so is whitewash, or that is whitewash. What does that exactly mean? What does it entail to be, quote, whitewashed? I've yet to come across someone that can actually articulate that. But I'm deviating from the main topic. Let's go back to Auntkaren. Now, you are going to get a kick out of the following set of clips. This is a prime example. I mean, almost the definition of what cognitive dissonance is. How someone can contradict herself in a short span of just a few videos. Here, she comes to the defense of another black creator in saying, hey, this white guy is a racist because he says the following.
Basically resulted to racism when he told a black man to get on his knees.
Yet, just a few videos apart, she does the exact same thing that she defined was racist.
That's funny. It sounds like the exact same thing I say to men like you when they're on their knees in front of me, gagged, looking up at my strap.
But I'm assuming she would say that's not racist because actually the roles are reversed. He's a white guy, I'm a black woman. So, see, it can't be racist. You cannot be racist to a white individual. Another side note, to this day, no one has been able to really explain to me what is a white person. But let's continue with all the other wonderful terms that Denise deems are not racist. Things like, who are these mayos?
Why do these mayos think the biggest burn to a black person is...
You might say, JT, she's only saying racist things to white people, as if that would be okay, as if that justifies her actions. No, Denise does not only say racist slurs against black people and white people. No, she does not discriminate. The irony in that. No, she will also use racial slurs against Middle Eastern people.
Well, Mr. Goopa, I know you thought you were such a badass.
You're like, what does that mean? That is what that means. Got it? Even when she's trying to not be racist, trying to navigate around grammar, she's like, how can I say, got it.
You guys cannot, and I say you guys, non-people, cannot see a black...
Okay.
Looking at this face, I'm really not surprised. He's giving off very much, I'm white and I don't know history.
What would that mean? What would that logically mean? Judging by all the content she's made, effectively what she's saying is, if you're white, you don't know history. Isn't that exactly what so many people fight for when they speak about people of color? That people of color, specifically black people, are not illiterate. Yet, here she comes along with this unlettered remark. But the racially charged attacks against her own people, as she says, do not stop. No. She has a lot more.
You remind me of someone. I think it was Uncle Tom. You know what? I'll just call you Uncle Tom.
It is almost like she has a book of all these racial slurs, and she's like, "Oh, use that one. I use that one. Did I use this one? No, I don't use this one. I gotta use. Oh, I only use that. Okay, I used that 4 months ago. Got it." And if you were thinking, okay, fine, she says racial slurs to black people, to white people, to people of color in general, but she would never say a racial slur against people like Lance. She would never describe a Native American as an Indian, would she? You know that term that everybody says that Columbus used to describe people of the Americas because he thought he had landed in East Indies, which many people argue and say, hey, it's a derogatory term to use against a Native American.
I guess it would be great for the Indians to finally have their land back.
Oh, this is awkward. But you know what? Let's move on. Denise sticks to convergent thinking, which essentially means that she sticks to linear problem solving. As an example, you're white, you're racist. You disagree with me, you're also racist. Now, the following might sound harsh, but she has shared this in the past.
It has been a very hard few weeks for me. People know, and if you don't know, I suffer from bipolar disorder, and there are some things going on that I had to adjust and get my medications adjusted.
Now, based on that information that you just heard, I arrived at a conjecture, and that is that she possibly suffers from a schizoaffective disorder. Now, if you don't know what that means, essentially, it's a mental health disorder that is marked by a combination of schizophrenia symptoms, such as hallucinations or delusions, and mood disorder symptoms, such as depression or mania. Two types of schizoaffective disorder, both of which include some symptoms of schizophrenia. Now, as you heard from her, she does suffer from bipolar disorder. Now, going back to the definition of schizoaffective disorder, there is something important that I want to point out. Besides the bipolar, it says that people with this disorder also suffer from delusions. Now, going into the disorders, one of them that I think that she truly does portray very, very clearly is that of grandeur or grandiose, which is a person with this type of delusion disorder has an overinflated sense of worth, power, knowledge, or identity. Now, I'm not pretending to diagnose her or anything like that, but I am trying to put together a puzzle that I'm using pieces based on things that she has shared and things that are pretty evident based on her history on TikTok, based on her opinions, based on her reactions, and even based on things like this.
Wait a minute. I am mentally stable. I'm on my medication now. Fuck them.
Now, why do I mention all this? I'm not sure if you guys remember, but sometime back, there was another creator, Etika, who unfortunately unalived himself. Now, his story is very complex and very long, and you can look into that yourself. But Denise reminds me so much of Etika. More importantly, the following. I think back to all those times that Etika clearly was showing signs of distress, clearly was trying to tell his audience, hey, I am not okay. But his followers just goaded him on under the pretense that, oh, we support you, we're with you. But in reality, all along, they just wanted to be entertained. For many of them, it was fun to see this person that clearly needed mental help essentially self-destruct. No, I'm not saying that Denise is self-destructing, but she sure shit shows a lot of the same signs. It is hard to deny this. Once you take the time to research, like I did, you will start seeing a lot of the same patterns as someone that is not okay. The problem nowadays with society is that we try to romanticize mental health. You know, not long ago, did you have Pete Davidson say very openly that he was always thinking of unaliving himself? And people were saying, oh my God, that is so sexy. Ignoring what he is actually saying, ignoring what Aunt Karen or Denise is actually saying. But alas, all I'll say is this: unlike a lot of people, I do not wish to see her demise. I bear her no ill will. I think many times on videos, she has shown that she is capable of doing what she wants to do, which is to call out actual racist individuals regardless of their skin color. But much like Modern Warrior, Tissy, and other woke creators, they see race before they see intention, and they take it upon themselves to be these arbiters of justice. And as we just saw unravel over the last few weeks, Tissy is now paying for that misuse of power. And Auntkaren, if you're watching this, I truly wish you good luck. I hope that as you progress through this influencer journey, you really take into account what you have said out of your own mouth and really hold your own self accountable. And for the rest of you guys, if you have made it to the end of the video, all I can say is make sure you leave a comment, like the video, share the video, and if you don't mind, head over to my YouTube page and subscribe on there as well. I'm going to start uploading videos on there regularly again. Thank you for watching. See ya.